Shalom, call O Yahweh Bashem El Shai, double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, Yahweh Bashem El Shai Barakatham to the hopeful elect. So basically, I saw this article. It says leftist militant uh, have stockpiled weapons, spike strips, armed guards at Portland Autonomous Zone, and immediately, it had me thinking about the second is 15th, which I'm going to get, but in light of everything that's going on, all right, because unfortunately for the people of this world, and even more so here in America, you know, um, unfortunately for them, all right, because those are the faith, all right, we want these things to, continue to, because that's one thing, this place is only going to, things are only going to intensify for the worse. Things are only going to get worse from here, all right. But with that, because we know after all of this comes the kingdom. So we want these things to hurry up, But like I said, unfortunately for the world and more so here in America, all right, you know, like I said, these things are only going to intensify, because they will, stuff like this is going to lead to martial law, all right, and a lot of everything that's going on, you know, um, unlike the first lockdown, this time, as it began more and more shutdowns, more and more lockdowns, more and more draconian measures, all right, people are starting to buck up and say the hell with, what the government, these different restrictions and things of that nature. People are starting to say the hell with it, and for the most part, taking matters into their own hands and doing what they want. All right, you got like gym owners are, you know, um, keeping their business order despite what despite the legislation, you know, um, that is that has been put out in whatever areas. Some gym owners, they're racking up on fines because it's been told that they need to close up shop. But again, they're saying the hell with that. You had one gym owner, he got arrested. Kept keeping his business open. Keeping the business open. And that's going on throughout. Right. A lot of restaurant owners, because a lot of restaurants are suffering. They're catching it more so than anyone else. So a lot of these restaurant owners, they're bucking up, keeping business open, business as usual. All right. A lot of these people, man, they're speaking up and speaking out because they don't believe in what the mayors and the governors and things of that nature, what they're being told to operate at max or half capacity and things of that nature, basically not being able to, because they're not being able to basically they can't sustain themselves on these draconian measures that are being forced. So this is why they're taking matters into their own hands, because people's livelihoods are at stake, and once Esau really takes away people's livelihoods, that's when people are really going to lash out. All right. So again, stuff like this, man. All right. People taking matters into their own hands, and it lines up with the scriptures, which, like I said, I'm going to get. But reading on, it says, police chief said force will be used if necessary to end occupation, but asked militias to leave before it comes to that. And like I said, unfortunately for the people that are optimistic, and for the people that don't have the vision, the vision of America being destroyed and the kingdom coming. All right, unfortunately for those people, all right, because again, and if you watch the elders, the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, all right, they've been saying these things, They've been speaking on these things because what did that? This happened in Seattle, I think, right? And once when that happened in Seattle, all right, but the elders have been saying how this is pretty much going to spread throughout, and that's pretty much with anything, all right. Whatever happens in one place, it's gonna it's gonna spread throughout America, all right. So again, you can expect to see more things like this taking place slowly but surely. And again, if you've been paying attention to the elders of Great Millstone, all right, because one of the warnings that have been going out, and this is how a lot of Jake are going to end up getting slaughtered, all right, eventually, all these little scuffles that you're seeing, these are fights that are breaking out, eventually it's going to turn into live shootouts, all right, live bullets, live rounds, all right. And again, this is why a lot of Jake are going to end up getting slaughtered. You're going to get caught up in this mess when we're not supposed to be, all right, because our fight is spiritual, all right, it's not carnal. But again, a lot of these people, man, they're getting ready to go about things in a carnal way. So again, because eventually you're gonna have live shootouts, man. Shootouts with the police, civilians against the police. Eventually, the military is gonna get involved. All right, with the whole defunding of police. All right. I believe earlier this year there was talks about how during these shutdowns, crime rate went up. All right. So more and more as they get rid of the police, it only makes sense that the crime rate is gonna go up, because who are you gonna call on? You know. So reading on, it says leftist militias on their third day of occupying several residential blocks in Portland, Oregon, over a foreclosed house, have stockpiled weapons, homemade spike strips, and armed guards at the entrances of their autonomous zones. But the city's police chief said cops will use force if necessary to end the occupation. And like I said, eventually it will turn into live shootouts. And eventually the military, more so those foreign troops, will start coming over here and touching ground on America. All right, because I did a video a couple of days ago, one of these incidences where cops are being chased off the street, right? Because these guys aren't playing around. Like I said, these their livelihood is at stake. Once you play with people's livelihoods, man, that's when people really, that's when people are really gonna lash out. Because in some places, all right, you even got it so far to where the chief of police are bucking up against the governor's orders and things of that nature, the mayors and things of that nature. They're not going to comply with certain restrictions and things that they trying to impose. Even certain local law enforcement agencies aren't going to be with it. All right. So again, you can just see how this is more and more. Second Ezra 15 and 16 and all these other different prophecies are coming to life. All right, because like I said, this is going to spread throughout. All right, more and more you're going to start seeing these autonomous zones pop up and people taking matters into their own hands more and more. All right. It says the autonomous zone was set up Tuesday, the same day leftist militias were caught on video chasing Portland police away from the foreclosed house. In fact, they kicked and threw rocks at retreating police vehicles and ran up on cops and appeared to try to steal their equipment while taunting and threatening them as they literally chased cop officers down the street. It says, "We ain't effing around," one militant was heard yelling at cops while another leftist declared, "I'll knock you the F out." Like I said, man, these people, man, they're if you watch some of these videos, man, they're not playing around. All right. Because people are becoming tired and they're becoming restless, and like I said, their livelihoods are at stake. There's so much tension in the air brewing up even more. All right. where people are about to get evicted from their homes. All right. People are tired, man. Like I said, I'm not going to play the video. It says, in the leftist bullied, physically attacked, and forced a local TV reporter and video photographer to leave the autonomous zone Tuesday soon after they entered in an attempt to interview occupiers. I'll play all that. It says, I certainly am respectful of the issue that people are there to address, but blocking streets and chasing police officers out of the neighborhood is still not okay and really contrary to our values as Portlanders. Deputy Police Chief Chris Davis told the Oregonian. And like I said, because I did a video on a clip, cops getting chased off the street, right? Because like I said, I mentioned in that video, how eventually these policemen, they're going to get overrun. And even the military, because a lot of those guys in the military, they're patriotic. They don't believe in, they really believe in protecting the constitutional rights and things of that nature, and they think that these restrictions and these draconian measures that they're trying to come down with, they believe in their heart that it goes against the constitutional right, the Constitution. So they're not going to be with it. All right, that's why a lot of these guys in the local law enforcement agencies and even the military are just going to end up saying the hell with it. And some of them already are even going to join forces. They're going to be linking up, siding with the civilians, linking up, forming their own little bands of militia groups and things of that nature. All right, because again, people aren't going to be with it. These lockdowns and restrictions, more and more the people will revolt. And again, this is what's going to get the foreign troops involved. All right, because like I said in the video, a previous video, man, these local law enforcement agencies, they don't want to do it. They don't want to do the job. These the military, American military, they don't want to do the job. They're just going to get someone that will do the job. All right. So reading on, it says, Davis added that police have to be thoughtful about the situation and go about it in the right way and consider all the angles and do our best to resolve this situation as safely as possible, the paper reported. But Police Chief Chuck Lovell struck a different tone in the video message, saying he's aware of the leftist weapons and threats they're making and that officers will use force to end the occupation if necessary. So again, because people, man, the more they crack down and the more they give these restrictions and things of that nature, all right, the more and more people will revolt, the more and more restless people will become, and eventually, man, it's just going to be an all-out war in the streets here in America. All right, and again, this is what's going to in turn lead to the precepts I'm going to get. But let me finish this out. It says Lavelle added in another Twitter post that police also are aware of armed sentries, attacks on journalists, and threats to kill officers and graffiti in this public building, in this public space. And as you can see from the below Twitter video, the leftists have installed homemade spike strips in front of one barricaded entrance. If you watch that and, this clip, it reminds me of, if you brothers haven't checked out the movie Songbird, all right, some of the elders are doing, commentaries on it. I'm thinking about doing one myself, but, to where they had it, these different blockades and things like that. All right, martial law, and they had different curfews and things like that. All right, again, this all ties into the scriptures. I think that was it on the article, but yeah, and matter of fact, I'm gonna go ahead and because like I said, I wanted to do a little response dealing with that movie Songbird. So I'll go ahead and play the trailer, just because again, this is what's coming. You're getting a little taste.
Miss Garcia.
Good morning, sunshine. I miss you. I could kiss you right now.
Sunday.
Curfew is now in effect. All unauthorized citizens must stay indoors.
Tensions rise as we enter the 213th week of lockdown.
Grim new reality emerges.
COVID-23 has mutated.
Beginning thermal scan. Thermal scan normal.
A horrifying new development
New
today.
data confirms the virus attacks the brain tissue.
Hey, whoa! I'm immune! I'm immune!
Worldwide death toll rises to over 110 million.
All infected Americans are being forced into quarantine camps.
Sarah, what's going on?
Department of Sanitation.
Sarah, talk to me.
I think my neighbor has a fever.
It'll be so much easier if you just open the door. Mrs. Grant, you have visitors.
Sarah, please. Sarah, open that door.
Sarah, do not open that door.
Beginning thermal scan. 3, 2, 1. Anomaly detected. Armed guards will be arriving in 4 to 6 hours. You must not attempt to leave your home, or you will be shot on sight.
This is my message to you.
I know you're in there.
They're coming to let you go.
No. Sarah!
Say goodbye to me.
Sarah, I'm not letting you give up.
This is my message
Sometimes we have to do things we don't want to survive.
I'm trying to save the one person left in my life that matters to me.
I can't help you. What you're talking about is illegal.
gonna be alright.
And remember, stay safe, sane, and sanitize.
So yeah, man, because again, you watch that movie, dealing with the aspect of, because again, in light of all with this whole sea crisis that's going on around the world, and supposedly there's a new strand in some places. All right. And again, and even more so now that they got the talks with, because if you don't know by now, the FDA approved the vaccines. So, those will be rolling out soon. Well, I think they already are. The latest that I seen was someone in Delaware, get the vaccine. And the talks about the vaccine pass, all right, the immunization passes, right. You watch that movie Songbird, man, it pretty much gives you a glimpse of all that, all right. But again, being that because in in the movie, you watch the movie, you see martial law, military troops, people that are affected and being hauled off to those camps, right. Again, you just get a little taste of what's going to be a reality soon, all right? Because or if you don't know, Trump earlier this year talked about using the military to, give out these vaccines or these vaccines, right? And why would you need why would you need the military to issue these vaccines? It's because they know people are going to revolt. All right, they know people are going to rebel against it. All right, and again, they're going to take away people's livelihood little by little. To get the people into taking these different vaccines and things of that nature, right? But again, with that, all right, because once you mess with someone's livelihood, all right, again, they'll lash out, and this is what it's all leading to, all right, all hell and all chaos breaking loose, all right, and this is why, again, throughout the year they've been deploying military throughout America, all right, but like I said, even with that, it will get to a point where even the military, man, they're gonna be like, the hell with this, man, and they're just gonna say that the hell with it, and this is why eventually they will get to a point where those foreign troops will touch on American soil. All right. But nevertheless, man, all right, the people are going to revolt more and more. They're going to rebel more and more against the government, these restrictions and these lockdowns, and Esau knows that this is going to, these things, Esau knows they're going to get this kickback. So this is why they're getting ready for it, or they're preparing for it, or they're already prepared for it, And again, matter of fact, before I get it in a second, Esdras, let me get this. Because this place is about to go up in flames, man. See if I can look for that. Luke 12 and Luke 12:49, it says, I am come to send fire on the earth. And more so that, nuclear destruction. All right, the Lord is coming with heat, heat from the chariots. All right, the Lord is coming to destroy this place. But it says, and what will I if it already be kindled? Yeah, because this place is already going to be up in, pretty much it's already going to be up in smoke, man. This place is already going to be, jacked up, so to say. Because again, these riots, these protests, all right, all these things, man, it's going to intensify. Things are going to spiral out of control, man. It will get to a point where, like I said, martial law is going to be implemented. All right. And even with that, once martial law is implemented, it's not like things are just going to stop, no, because like I said, people, man, with more restrictions, even with that, man, you're going to have restrictions, food and resources are going to be not as available as they are now. So, people are going to be desperate during that time, and again, even with that, you're going to have shootouts with the military and things of that nature. You're going to, the scriptures talk about people dying in the wars. All right. World War III is going to pop off. All these things, man, it's going to be a concoction of all these different things going on during that time. All right. But nevertheless, all right, because the scriptures also going to like the birth pains. All right. These are the signs that Yahweh Shem Yahshua left for us, those in the faith, to know that he's about to make a second coming. And these things are playing out as we speak. All right. But this place is this place is through, Jeremiah 4, I think it's 18. Verse 29. Jeremiah 4:29 says, the whole city shall flee for the noise of the horsemen and bowmen. They shall go into thickets and climb up upon the rocks. Every city shall be forsaken, and not a man dwell therein. And because again, once Esau comes down with that great wrath, man, and he brings that heat. All right, because again, these autonomous zones. All right, people really, people think that they Because like I said, Esau, man, they have these people in the trick bag. Because, a lot of these videos, you see these police precincts being set on fire and the police being ran off the block. Esau is allowing these things to happen. All right, and people actually think that they're getting the victory. People think they're winning when they, act out these things. All right, and again, Esau's allowing these things to happen because, again, Esau, they got their chariots. All right, they got the helicopters and tanks, all type of military weapons and stuff, drones and stuff. They have all these things. They can easily come and take back over that autonomous zone out there in Portland. They can easily go and reclaim, but they're allowing these things to happen to give them the excuse to bring in martial law and all these other things. All right, the stage is being set and they're allowing it to happen. All right, and so don't think for a second that if you're out there and you're partaking in these things, all right, that you're actually winning, that you're getting a victory. No, Esau's allowing these things to happen. He has you people in the trick bag. All right. And also I wanted to get Isaiah 30 and 13. It says, therefore this iniquity shall be to you as a breach ready to fall, swelling out in a high wall, whose breaking cometh suddenly at an instant. All right, so, because again, basically this place, man, it's like a breach ready to fall. This place is I keep saying, it's a boiling pot, and this thing is about to spill over. All hell's getting ready to break loose out here, man. All right, little by little, as Esau more and more with these restrictions and these lockdowns and things of that nature, these unrighteous decrees. All right, these people, they're going to become more and more restless, man. And they're going to say the hell with that. They're going to say the hell with the government. They're going to take matters into their own hands. All right, they're going to take the law into their own hands. All right, just like the article that I read from. And again, this is what these things are playing out, man. Right before our eyes. 2nd Esdras 15 and 15, it says, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh. Yeah, because again, with that being said, once these people, once it gets to a point where, it's just out of control. All right, once it gets to a point, Esau, he's going to get the green light, and again, martial law. All right. Where was I at? It says, and one people shall stand up to fight against another, and swords in their hands. All right. So again, people, man, because now all of a sudden, the resurfacing of this whole thing with Trump and Biden and, the electoral votes. All right. That's back out the blue. All right. So that tension is being, that light is being relit. All right. So, you're going to have these different class wars, civil wars. All right. You're about to see the left versus the right, basically, Trump supporters versus Biden supporters. All right. And anyone in between, these things are about to pop off, man. A breach ready to fall. It says, for there shall be sedition among men. All right, and that sedition, it goes into pretty much a revolt against you could say the government. All right, the magistrates, the higher authorities. All right, because again, people are going to revolt more and more. Just like I said, like the examples I've used, just pay attention. You got the gym owner, getting arrested and racking up on fines because he doesn't want to close up shop. It's keeping his gym open, as well as other businesses and restaurants and things of that nature. People are saying the hell with what the government has to say. All right, why? Because they're playing with their livelihoods. And this is why people are gonna, You know, eventually, just this is why all hell is eventually just going to break loose out here. All right, people's livelihoods are at stake. It says there shall be sedition among men and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, in the courts of their actions shall stand in their power. So again, you know, you can expect more autonomous zones. You know, you can expect certain places to pretty much, you know, become like their own little sovereign state. All right. You know, some of these states are going to, you know, become sovereign. You know, they're going to break away from the United States and, you know, become their own little place and, you know, do their own thing. You can expect things like that. All right. Because again, you know, people are going to take matters into their own hands. They're going to take the law into their own hands. You know, don't be surprised if, you know, these autonomous zones, the more they pop up, all right, they're going to come up with their own constitutions, and, you know, they're going to come up with their own laws and things of that nature. Don't be surprised when you see these things. It says, verse 17, "No man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able to." Why? Because, again, these things are going to spiral out of control in so much that eventually they will bring in martial law. All right. To reestablish order. All right. But like I said, even with that, people aren't just going to willingly, you know, just give in and submit. All right. Even with that, you know, you're still going to have people bucking up and fighting the military troops and all type of stuff, man. All right. Because, you know, they will shut down these cities, man. Little by little, eventually, at some point, they will shut down these cities. Nothing coming in or out. And this is what's going to cause people to even, you know, lose it more. You know, people are going to lose their minds even more. All right. So again, you know, these things are becoming more and more relevant, man, and more clear. You know. So, you know, like I've been telling people, man, just to sit back, put your seatbelt on, and expect the worst, because we're all in for a hell of a ride. You know what? Like I mentioned earlier, the difference between us in the faith and these individuals out here, all right? With us, man, we know what's to come after all this. You know, our hope is in Yahweh Shemel Shai. You know, that reward that he's coming with. You know. So hopefully this was edifying. Once again, I'm going to give all credit to Yahweh Shemel Shai. Double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. And until next time, Lord's will, I say shalom.